Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So we are squarely into the territory for the S22 Ultra now, or as I like to call it, the Note 22 Ultra, because the phone looks identical to a Note 10 Plus in modern day. What they add a little bit of weight and heft and call it the Ultra. They had some new leaked images that came out, so I thought it'd be a good time to talk about it because we're about a month away. I think a month away from announcement, maybe slightly more than that. I did see a revised timeline from John Prosser lately. If you don't know who he is, he's a self-claimed prolific leak guy. Whatever. I don't really buy a lot into this stuff, but it's been coming from a lot of different directions. So I think that these probably are official-ish images when it comes to the S22 Ultra. It's a very interesting phone because normally when you get the Ultra device on the S series in, well, the beginning of the year, it's just an S phone. And just like the S21, typical Galaxy S phone, except they added the S Pen support, which a lot of people actually liked. I personally like it. I like having, the option to do this, but it didn't feel quite natural. It was like, okay, this is kind of taking away some of the Note territory, but at the same time, it didn't offer the same level of support and features because it's just a rinky-dink S Pen. It's not the Pro Model one, and they announced the Pro Model one, but it didn't even debut till 7, 8 months later, like a really long time ago later. And yeah, I felt like that was super, super delayed. But either way, this new one is going to have an internal compartment you can put the S Pen in. Ergo, it's the Note. And it looks just like one. If you look at the pictures, basically it looks like the Note 10 Plus with a little bit of LG Velvet styling with that raindrop pattern on the stacked cameras. It looks like a Velvet and a Note 10 Plus combined with a little bit of extra heft to it. But it's going to have top-notch hardware. We're talking Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. Samsung is always the first guys in the United States to get the latest Snapdragon processor, and they're sticking to it. They're not doubling down on their Exynos processor. They're not trying to bring it here in the US. Definitely still sticking with Snapdragon, which is interesting because you look at now, iPhone, they have their A-series processors. You look at OnePlus, they of course will use Snapdragon, but then you look at Google and their new Pixel phones with their Tensor chips. I feel like we're kind of moving into a direction where you really, really have to start kind of nailing this whole processor situation down. When you have a customized silicon chip in your phone, it allows you to control a lot more of the experience, and that's why, well, at least Apple's succeeding. Google not so much right now, but they're going to get there. As soon as they can get all these kinks worked out, as soon as they can get everything online and start excelling and not have to disable features, not have update issues, I think they're on the right track. And it would surprise me if in the next 2 years we didn't see this from Samsung. I do think they're already behind the power curve, though, unless they're working on it. So they're going to have Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. We're probably talking 12 gigs of RAM. You're going to have the S22 and the S22 Plus. And yeah, I don't know. I think this is really a grab at trying to stabilize sales. When you look at what's happened year over year over year, the last couple of years, smartphone sales have gone down. And a lot of people thought that last year when the S21 debuted, that a lot of it was to do with the current climate going on and everything that had to go on at the time with the market. Well, they thought that maybe that was a one-off. And then it came to this year with the S21 phones and sales still dropped more. So Samsung's sales have been going like this, but I don't think that it's all the phones. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the market is saturated. It's been saturated for years. And then they don't offer anything revolutionary to make you switch. Well, at least not in the S21 or the Note. They did with the Flip and the Fold, so you probably had a couple people that defected from the S and the Note to go get a Flip or a Fold, but there's nothing enticing to bring them back, and people largely don't do year-over-year upgrades anymore. They're way too expensive, and they just don't offer enough benefits, and it's really hard to say, hey, you should go buy one, especially when the phones are supported now longer than ever. Like, back in the day, even not in recent memory, like the S8, the S9, they were pretty good phones, but they didn't have the level of support, and they just, after about a year, kind of started to get clogged up and just weren't that great anymore. Heck, this S21 Ultra feels just like it came off the shelf, and it's been about a year. And then it's got the Snapdragon 888, plenty of power, the battery health is in good shape, and then we're talking at least 3 years of software updates and 4 years of support for security patches and stuff. So, when you make the technology more powerful, you give it more and longer support, that's what happens. People don't buy as many phones. So as the technology keeps getting better and you keep reinventing the same wheel with nothing new, you can't really expect a lot of sales. So until they bring something bright and shiny and lucrative and promising to the traditional smartphone space, Yeah, it's cool having foldables, but those make up a fraction of smartphone sales. They're more expensive, they're more premium, and I think their big plan is to try and invade 2022 with more foldables than ever because they're still number one in that department. And they're definitely not number one in overall smartphone sales traditionally, especially when it comes to the normal slab phones. So things are concerning with Samsung. Moving forward, I'm generally excited about the phone. We didn't get a Note 21. I like this idea, but I don't like sacrificing the S line to do it. I really wish that they would have left it with just the Note, but then they wouldn't be able to put the new chip in it. So they find themselves in a very peculiar position where I think most people prefer the Note, but they're stuck with getting the Note dissolved and putting it into the S line. So we'll see what happens. I think Samsung's still going to overprice it. I was very surprised they brought down the price on the Flip 3 so much. I don't expect to see that at all here. The Ultra is still going to be their premium Space Invader and probably going to be about $12.99 with this Note feature, right? Maybe they can surprise us and do $11.99, but I'm kind of expecting $12.49, $12.99. We'll see what happens. I don't know. When it comes to the S line, they've got the S22, the Plus, and the Ultra. I'm hoping to see them be more aggressive with the S22 because when you look on the lower end now, the iPhone 13, $799, the Pixel 5 is $599. You can't be charging $899, $850 for a Samsung S22, and then you cheapen it and dumb it down because they're going to give you a 1080p resolution. They're probably going to give you maybe 120 hertz refresh rate. They might dumb it down to 90, and it's just going to have less features. We don't have headphone jacks. We don't have IR blasters. We don't have SD card slots. We don't have a lot. And then they make the phones feel cheap. Like, really, this last go-around, the S21 felt really cheap to me. It's not a phone I wanted anything to do with. The S21 Ultra feels much more premium. Very nice device. And I like the S Pen inclusion, but it's no Note. So I'm expecting that they brought the S21 in at $11.99. The Note 20 Ultra last year was $12.99. If they can get this cheaper than $12.49, if they can get it for $11.99, I think that's a win. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, though, especially with the shortages on materials and supplies, and also including what I'm assuming will be a pro-level S Pen. Camera stuff's supposed to be better. Looking at probably about a 30% emphasis, slightly new hardware configuration maybe. It definitely looks like the emphasis is going to be on AI stuff, just like Pixel, just like Apple. Artificial intelligence and all this algorithm-based machine learning stuff is the new frontier. Basically, they're giving you the same old, but they're refining it and learning how to use these algorithms to take better pictures, to get better battery life, to make your phone work better for you. So, I don't know. Until one of them activates Skynet, I guess it's all right. But, I don't know. The space just feels less innovative than it's ever been. And, yeah, it's exciting to get new phones, but at the same time, we do get tired of the same old, and I think that's going to translate over to sales as well. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can right the ship. Hopefully they can sell more of these things because it's good for their business. But I don't know. Definitely their status as a major player has been challenged. And then they've got these foldables that I think they're going to push those harder than their regular phones this year. Honestly, I would expect to see a budget foldable at some time later on this fall. That's my guess. They're trying to get these in as many people's hands as possible to keep other manufacturers from infiltrating the space and maintaining a lead in that department. So it wouldn't surprise me. I haven't seen any leaks. I haven't seen any rumors. But it really wouldn't surprise me if we get a budget level foldable sometime later on in 2022. So we'll see what happens. I'll bring you all the news on the Note 22 Ultra, also known as the real name, the S22 Ultra. When it gets here, I'm going to buy one. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to put it through its paces and give you all the content on it just like I do with other Samsung phones. But for now, we got to see some pictures, enjoyed some leaked information, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But that's all I got for now. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you're excited about it, if you're not excited about it, I'd love to hear it. Let's have some conversation. So go to the comment section and drop that there. But if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.